now we're inside of ZBrush, Photoshop, sorry. I have gone ahead and I've just arranged all my renders from ZBrush into this layer stack. I'm not going to go into too much detail how I did it because there is a video on YouTube on how I did it. So if you wanted to see that, you can head on to my YouTube and check it out there. But essentially, I'll just come in here and I'll start messing around with these rendered layers that I've rendered out of ZBrush material layers, or matcap material, sorry, and just try and find a happy medium where the image doesn't get too messed up and it starts to look really cool. So just playing around with these things. I've done this so many times that to me it's just really second nature of what I'm supposed to be doing. I have gone into detail on how to do this in one of my previous videos, so on YouTube, and also in my tutorial. So I'm not going to go too far into details about this. Again, the best thing I said in the tutorial, the best thing to do is keep a distance from your image. You don't want to zoom too much in because you could get lost in what you're looking at if you're always really close to the image. If you keep your distance, you'll see a lot more of the final piece, really. I'm going to use that for that one. And it's essentially, essentially you just want to make those matcap materials work for you. Some of them will, some of them won't. It's kind of like a guessing game, really. I still guess a lot when I'm doing these things, and there's a certain amount of stuff that I remember from previous models that or images that I made, and I can retain it. But essentially, it's a guessing game, really, of what looks good to your eye. So I mean, this one is quite nice on the soft light. Most of it is soft light and overlay, to be honest. With these rare exceptions when I have to, break the mold. But yeah, essentially it's overlay and soft light for these materials, or matte caps. Again, not too precious at this point, just trying to find what would work really well. This one, again, like this one is probably one of them that won't work with this image. It worked with the previous image that I made on my one of my artworks, but sometimes they just don't work. And sometimes you just gotta turn it off and move on, really, to the next one. You don't have to use them in the sort of look that you rendered them out either. So if you wanted to, that looks quite nice. But if you wanted to change the color or change the hue and saturation or the levels of it, then that's totally up to you. It's all artistic eye at the end of the day. So pretty quite cool in the overlay. And then I'm gonna change the hue saturation, like I said. And then I'm gonna darken it. Yeah, darken it a bit. I don't want to lose this red that's coming through here. Ooh, hold on. Did I see some of this iffiness going on? Yeah, we can't have any overlay. It's burning the image as we speak. So, again, this might be one that we have to get rid of. Which is a bit of a shame. It's quite nice. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Get the color one on and bump those colors back up. The soft light, and just turn it down a bit. We just want to emphasize some of those colors that were missing once we started playing around with these levels, or getting drowned out, I should say. And then I'm just going to adjust this one because I know that this one's going to be way too dark for me. Hard light. This will be kind of like the reflective wet look we're going to use for our character. we have a depth mask. So we're just going to put this to a multiply. Bring it down. In fact, we missed out on the lights, didn't we? So coming into the lights group, just going to turn the lights on and turn the screen for this one, the room light. Now the room light, going to need to get rid of some of that back lighting that's showing up on the front, as well as on the bottom here. Not that you can see the bottom here because it's going to be cropped later, but yeah, just soften it up a bit. Then you got these ones. Now it's just again another artistic sort of licensing here. Whatever looks good, I guess. Turn them on, turn them off. See what they look like. See how they act with the model. This one might be a bit too much, but I do like that liquidy effect it's got on there. Let's see if the other one works better. The other one does work a little better. Just gonna tone it down a bit, and then put a mask on. I like to use masks because it's a less destructive method of working with these images. So you're not destroying it by just deleting it. You're kind of using it to mask out areas you don't want instead. Put this to a screen. Just paint out where the shadows align. Now if it looks like it's blowing out too much, don't worry, because we haven't actually added the shadows and our ambient occlusion yet. So multiply on that one, or you could go for an overlay or soft light, but I think multiply is going to be best. I'm going to leave the subsurface scattering one there for a minute and turn on the shadow. Just tone it down a bit. There should never be really a full-on black shadow. It should be kind of like see-through-ish, so you can just about see it, and shouldn't be completely dark. That's what the ambient occlusion is there for, more to bring those blacks and fake dark shadowing areas in. And then you can hit this as a multiply. And yeah, then I'm going to use this normal map to give some extra lighting. So for this one, I'm just going to use this pass, the red pass. I'm just going to plop it down here. Hit the soft light is usually the one I go for. Now what does this do? It doesn't do a lot, but it kind of pulls the image together a bit, you see? So now the lighting's coming from the right rather than the left and right. And if you feel like there's still too much going on there, you can just come in and paint it out on one side. Now we've run into a little bit of an issue here where we've lost a bit of that. Yeah, we've lost a bit of that red in our model. Might be one of these lights too much for it. What we can do is we can just change the light, switch it off, turn it off, use a different light. Gonna try different mixture. Whoop. And we're just painting out lighting that we don't want. Here we go. It's at this stage that I will come in and I will start to cut out the background from all the images, just so it's isolated. Yeah, I'll cut these ones out as well, even though we're not using it. I'll just cut them out, just in case we do want to use it later. And then just all the way to the bottom, turn off the mask, add a new layer for the background, paint it in so it's got a background in there. I'm gonna put these all into a folder, and then I'm gonna crop it so the image sits better, the model sits better in the image, sorry. So I'm thinking more of a portrait than a landscape. And then I'm gonna grab the scaling tool, scale it up, just position it in the middle, like so. Might just, oh yeah, forgot this one. So the subsurface scattering one, change it to color dodge, and we need to change the actual color of it to sit better. Is it color dodge, color add? I'm going to go for color add for this one. Invert the mask so it's all black. And then I'm going to paint in some kind of light source, subsurface scattering on the body. Doesn't have to be much, just where it's the thinnest parts of the body. And I'm going to actually add a secondary subsurface scattering color. Delete the background, add a mask, invert the mask. Before I do that, I'll just show you. I'm going to add this as a color dodge. Then I'm going to invert this mask and paint in that information again. You can even put this on top of shadows. Oh, hold on. So that the shadows don't affect it. And paint it into those shadowed areas sometimes. Sometimes that will work, sometimes it won't. Yep. Once I'm happy with the sort of look of it like that, I'm just going to turn this down just a bit, way too much surface in there. Turn this down a bit as well. Once I'm happy with how the body's looked and I can come away from it, I'll start working on the background, where I'll just start to either pick colors from the model, and using the gradient tool and a new layer, I'll start to add some other colors for the background. Let's look. There's a light source coming from this side. and this will be the shadowed. Let's get some orange in there as well. We'll put on a new layer so we can adjust it. Yeah. Let's get backlight going. Just so we have some sort of color going on. And then grab a brush tool from one of my brushes. And I'll just start blending in these colors. I think this is the wrong brush. Just incorporating a more sort of background, blurred background into the scene, and then I'll add a new folder on top and paint in some of that missing geometry that we have here from the body, just to emphasize that he's, you know, a full-on character. But that's where the concept ends, really, for him. And then I'll just try to incorporate it in as much as possible, but essentially not really too worried about it, because the focus will be on the top part. So just blend it in as best as you can. Then I'll come in here. This is all artistic license now. We've gone past the point of you know, putting the images together. Now we're just coming in. Now I'm just coming in. I'm just having fun making this image work for me, or work. So yeah, that's essentially it, really. Then I'll just spend loads of time playing around with everything in here. Maybe incorporate some more reds into the background underneath this, or maybe on top of this. It's pink. Even overlay it or something. Soft light. And then come on top of this one and just paint in some more superficial background stuff. Doesn't really matter, just there to add some atmosphere, really, to your model. We could possibly add an orange, like fire, to one side of this model. Bring this up to the top. Okay, let's try that again. Delete those. Add one. Add a new layer. standing near some fire. Yeah, the glow is coming off the fire. Is I'll just add a hotter yellow just at the bottom here. Like so. Looking at this, just want to play around with some of these layers now. Just try to incorporate everything into the scene a bit better. Yeah. We can even bring some of these ones back and see if I can work with this now. No. Nope. Not this time. I'm just gonna blur the lines of this a bit more. Maybe I'll add some green in here. It is Toxin. Could look quite cool. Let's put this at the top. This will just help bring the whole thing together, whole image together a bit more. There we are. Now I'm going to add some details. Actually, I'm going to turn this one off and turn it back on at the later stage once I'm near the finishing. I just want to add some extra details like saliva and stuff like that, just to finish off. So I'll just paint these in randomly, like so. That, and then maybe bring some speckles, maybe some dots even. No, that'll do. Let's just turn some of these down a bit more. Then come back up here. I want to make sparks, debris, as in fire sparks coming out, flying around, because he's just sort of destroyed something, or we're standing next to something that's destroyed, and we can help ground our character a bit more to the scene. And I'm just going to duplicate that one and hit the color dodge, use the soft round brush eraser, just erase some of these. Like so. Add some more. Bottom corner. Different colour. There we go, that'll do. And we turn on the green now, you can see it's kind of pulled everything together a bit more and giving that sort of horror vibe to it. But we're not done yet. So just going to go down to the lights now, and now I'm really going to come in here and make sure that these work properly with this scene. So just getting rid of lights where you wouldn't have lights, like in the shadowed areas and stuff like that. So in this one, for instance, there's no light around here, so any lights around there. The lights off there. Get rid of all this light. Here. And with one of these, I'm going to this one. I'm actually going to change the color so it fits in better with the scene. So it's actually going to be a bit of a reddish orangey to mimic the fire that's on the side of him there. I'll just turn it down a bit. What's this one? There we are. Again, just looking at these other ones, see if they can be used at all. Yeah, that will work. Turn some of these up here. Might be too many sparks at the top there, so I might just get rid of some of them in the background. Just turn the color off for a second. Introduce some of that colour in there. Will that work? Just don't want it to be too dark in that area. The same with this area up here. I'm just trying to pull in this concept so it fits the scene nicely. This is coming out really nice. We're almost finished. I might just bump up this color. Come there. Yep. And this actual green is a bit, I think it might be a bit too dark, so let's change it up a bit. Ooh, too light now. There we go. I've got some post-production, composition work to do anyway, so I'll leave it like that. So I'm just going to import some items to help me finish off this concept, sorry. So I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, welcome back. So I've got a couple of items here I want to try out. This one, everyone's probably seen quite a bit. It's one of my favorite textures to use on characters. It just gives a bit more, just a bit more surface texture going on, really. I use it a lot in my work. And all I'll do is I'll just scale it down and position it all the way over the model, and then using a mask it out, and then paint it in. I won't put everywhere, but I'll put it in enough places that is key to the scene, really. And then I'll just come in here, merge it, cut it out. So, second verse, and then cut it. Cut it. Put a mask on it. Switch it to a overlay or a soft light. I might go for soft light this time. Desaturate it. Oop, wrong one. Desaturate it. Then hue and saturation. I'll just bring this down and this as well. The mask, invert the mask, and then strategically using a brush, just add some surface detail to the skin in key areas. Just helps it fit better, and it gives that a little bit more detail to the model, to the image, not the model, sorry, image. And you don't have to go crazy with it, just a little bit here and there to help it. And you can bring it down a bit so it's not so obvious, but it already brings that image together. So that's that one. And then I got some flames. Not sure if I'll use the flames, maybe I will. Let's just take this one, clump it in, and add it here. As if the flame is sprouting out. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Just come out the corner of the image. Just scale it down a bit more. There we go. Just a little bit of flame there. I did also bring some smoke in, but I might just leave the smoke out of this one for now. and just have it like this instead. So once I'm happy with this, basically, this composition, the way it looks, just turn this down a bit. I will then create a new folder, and within this folder we're going to use all the adjustments. So first things first, bring in the brightness and contrast. Bring the brightness up, contrast up. We're getting to the final points now of this image, so we're just playing the contrast a bit, and all these other settings. The level, I'm just going to bring the level up to, it's quite dark, so 2 will be fine. And this is more about subtlety rather than in your face. Oh, look, there's exposure everywhere. It's more about subtlety than all that other stuff. So, I mean, this is quite big. So what I'll do is I'll invert the mask and only highlight the head or the main area I want you to look at, and then the rest can just sort of sit in the background a bit. And then there's the color and balance, and in the shadows I'll just bring the shadows to match the theme. And I think the theme is green, really, isn't it? It's toxin green. So that will work there. And there's the color lookup. Now, color lookup is quite a cool filter thing I found in Photoshop, and it's just given it another layer over the top of color, like a filter, basically, that you can cycle through all these and see which one works the best. There's quite a few that work really well. Quite like this one, but the one that I use the most, I would say, is the last one. It's quite nice. The last one, this one, tension green. But because we got a lot of green in it already, yeah, I'm gonna go for it anyway. Tension green, and I'm just gonna bump it down quite a bit, so it's barely visible, but you know it's there. Well, I know it's there. And now we're just coming up to the final parts now. Just looking over it and making sure everything works nicely. This one's a bit high. Bring down the intensity of that a bit. And looks like there's a bit of lights going on here. I don't like that. Just gonna pull back on the light around here a bit, because we want this section here to be lit more than this section here. Still got a cool looking pose, which is good. And now we have the final parts. So I'm just going to add a layer, fill it in grey, add a noise effect, and then put that to soft. And there we are. Just gives a bit of graininess to the image, so it's not all picture perfect. And once I'm happy, I'll just group all these into one folder, duplicate that folder, merge this group, and then crop it using the crop tool. So it's all cropped like that, and then coming here with a smart sharpen, just sharpen the image a bit, pulls it together nice. Just sharpens all those edges we have. Don't have to go overboard. And then I'll duplicate that one. Go into blur, motion blur. This will give a character a little bit of movement to him. Make a mask, invert it, and paint in some of that edging. It also makes it sit nicer in the image, really, and it gives the effect of motion, which is good. You want the effect of motion on your character. Even blur out some of that background bit. And yeah, the last thing to do is just put my logo on, my signature, and it's done. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been quite a different way of doing things as my time lapse videos, but yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and look forward to the next one. Maybe it'll be a symbiote, maybe or something else. But yeah, have a good one.